Today I decided to wear the star hat because I was feeling like a star. Then I decided to ruin it by going on Twitter. And I recently streamed Cuphead the entire game. It took me like a little under 4 hours, but naturally, every social media that stalks me, so basically every social media decide, hey, let's recommend him exclusively Cuphead content for the next like a week. I'm not like an actual like Cuphead fanatic, but I know it's fine. I don't really mind. Until I start seeing stuff like this. Cuphead is a dead franchise. Now, I wasn't gonna make a video on this because, it's kind of useless. Like, why would I? It's just one of those things where you read it and you're like, you know what? That's stupid. And then you move on. And I got to thinking, brother, Cuphead makes Angry Birds look like a dead franchise in comparison. What do you mean it's a dead franchise? I feel it's problematic to like an extent where everyone thinks if something's successful, it has to have like 500 shows, 500 spin-offs. Yeah, we gotta keep milking this until it's dry. And it's like, we don't need that. Like, do you think anyone in like the Cuphead community, I'm not humongous in it, and I'm probably gonna continue to not to be. I don't think anyone in this community is like, yes, I think 10 more games are necessary. I think this would be good for the series. Ask any of them. They probably like slap you, or they probably look at you like, what are you doing? But I will admit, back when I was like 13 or so, maybe a little younger, I was pretty obsessed with Cuphead because, it was just something for me to obsess over. So I did, naturally. That's why I did a lot. I still do that sometimes, but I remember back then people said like the Cuphead DLC and GTA 6 were going to be like in the same area of release time. Look where we are now. But I feel it's just like really stupid how we can't just be satisfied that something ended. And I'm one to talk because, I'll use a recent example of something I love that just recently got canceled. Smalling Friends. I made an entire video when it was announced that it was canceled, and I was pretty upset about it. But, I still can kind of get, where they're at. They don't want to, like, run the show dry. They don't want to become the next Simpsons. And that's understandable. I'm not gonna go to like the Adult Swim headquarters. I'm not gonna go to Zach's house and be like, you're not gonna continue my favorite show because you don't know what to do anymore? I honestly feel like out of all the current games right now, Cuphead is one of those games where it has like the least likely like chance of completely dying out anytime soon. Because like most games, I feel like, especially games that go towards like realistic graphics and just all exclusively realism, I feel those are the ones that are gonna die out before most because I feel it's kind of a pattern for like realistic game releases. People think it's so cool. Next realistic game releases. And I know a lot of people from like the previous realistic one only really play for like nostalgia reasons, if that. And yes, I'm mostly referring to Call of Duty. Screw you, Call of Duty. I really want to like Call of Duty still, and I don't care for it because they don't do anything different. And like, imagine if that was Cuphead. Imagine if Cuphead turned into that. I know most people couldn't think of it that way, and that's why this is such a stupid like take. Cuphead's a dead franchise. Why? Because they're not Call of Duty. Do you want Cup of Duty? Is that what you want? Cup of Head? This is another shorter, like, ranting video because I don't know what else to rant about on this. There's not a whole lot to say. I just thought it was stupid. So, if you want to see me, like, being really cocky and then screaming right after, I'd recommend watching this video or just, like, the whole stream. I won't complain about it either. And if you want to watch my streams, I am live anytime on YouTube or Twitch or TikTok, etc., etc. Just at any given moment. I try to schedule it the night before. Sometimes I might not, but usually I will. So anyway, yeah, I have nothing else to say about this. I can't even milk this dry because it's just a stupid take. But anyway, goodbye.